I had a good scoop with a pita chip, and it was not the worst in the world. Mind you, I handle spice really well.
No, it's not for me.
I peek out at habanero things, and that's like, isn't that a lot? Ghost pepper's like insane compared to that.
It's the highest, or one of the highest.
One of the highest.
Ghost pepper, one of the hottest peppers in the world.
One of. There's another one that's way off the charts.
Carolina Reaper.
Yeah.
It is.
Genetic mutant of a pepper.
It's hot shit. And that in that bottle is onions and tomato and
To cut it.
yeah, I had to. It'd have been just excuse me, horrible.
Fire.
This is my first beer. I just want you guys to know this.
Oh.
Usually I pre-funk with my wife.
Wow.
But she's on a walk.
She's on a walk.
How's
With the
training
dog.
So
going?
all I'm burping right now is one of those Celsius energy drinks.
How's training going?
It's actually fuck you. It's going well.
15 stairs.
What?
Because you're breathing heavy.
Oh no, I ran.
Yeah. And in case the listeners didn't know, he
That's
lives
one.
in a 6-story
Ah,
house.
That's one. Yeah.
All right,
That's
you know
one.
what? We
So-
got the people here. The people here are voting. All right.
Wait,
Well, I'm going to have to really tighten it up today.
how many insults do you get?
3.
3 total?
Just like you get 3 F-bombs.
Yeah.
I got 5.
It's
only
always been 3.
I think it's been 3.
Maybe that's why you
I think
never...
you just got a little loose with it.
Yeah.
It's always been 5.
You always write your own history. I've noticed
It's
that.
always been 5.
Narcissist.
And they shot first. Han shot first. All right, let's go play bikes. It's the if the cycling year was a Stephen King novel, we would be in the middle of the dead zone. See what I did there? You guys didn't read the Dead Zone? Anybody read Dead Zone?
No.
Really?
I don't read.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken did the movie. You baby, you child. It's burning. Sorry, that was a terrible Chris Walken. All right. Welcome to the longest standing cycling podcast out there. This is the Packfiller Cycling Podcast. We are live in the Rim Break Bar, and you can play along on our website at packfiller.com or through our YouTube page at YouTube. Shit, that didn't go well. I'm your host. My name's Pat Bulger, and 3 things I don't like are mushrooms, golf, and stretching brand new Continental tires. I put on 2 of those effers. See?
Yeah.
I'm holding back. I'm
Well
saving them.
done.
Saving them. I put on 2 of those things this weekend, and my hands just now feel better. Let's see who's with us tonight with tonight's prologue question, brought to you by our friends at Muck Off. Muck Off. I didn't use one there either. Keep your bike clean and running smoothly, especially in the mud and indoor training season. They sound different, but they are massive wear and tear seasons. Gentlemen, tonight's question: what was a time that a stomach issue caused a major embarrassment in a social situation?
You just want to know when we all pooped our pants
I'm not
Yeah.
saying shit yourself. I'm
Oh,
saying it
I'll
could be
tell it.
it could be a fart, it could be a burp, it could be a rumbly tumbly. Okay, it could be anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so first off, he's the best PR man the show has ever had, Mr. Paul Main. You are.
Right. How was that?
Every time I go into a public place, and if you're there before me, I come in and you're like, yeah, it's called the Packfiller Podcast, and you're telling people about
Well,
it.
because you're like, what's that on your shoulder? Or what's?
I know, but-
I don't like tap people on the shoulder. It's called pack filler.
No, I don't mean that. You're really good at it. I'm the guy who's too shy to talk about it. I'm like, yeah,
too
I have a
shy to
podcast
shy.
too. I have a podcast. Hush, hush. Nobody else got that reference. I hope somebody got the Kajagoogoo reference. That's good. No, but you are, and I appreciate that. I'm really bad at promoting it, considering how far we've come and how much money it's making. Obviously, I'm shitty at it. First of all, how are you, and what was a stomach issue embarrassment situation?
I'm doing well, and it would have to be one of the days my wife and I were at over in Germany. We're coming back from the last day, and her aunt made us. It's called Bratwurst Zwiebel, or sour Bratwurst, which is in Nuremberg. They have a special Bratwurst. It looks like what we could have a breakfast sausage that size.
Okay. Oh, little
but they're
guys.
unique. No one can copy these. They're kind of like the German thing. It's like, nope, this is ours. We don't share.
It's a secret.
Yeah. So you boil those with Zwiebel, which is onion.
Okay.
And so you get the sweetness of onion and
This
stuff.
does not sound.
Oh, it's so tasty. And about 2 a.m, I'm like, wow. And because we're taking our flight out that next morning. And I literally peeled the sheets down, and I looked. No, I know what you were thinking. I could see my stomach going.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It was moving. In about 15 minutes, I'm sweating bullets, and then all of a sudden, it's like, oh my gosh. And we had to leave in 2 hours to catch. Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know if I can make it. I don't. And we have one flight from Nuremberg to Schiphol, which is in Amsterdam.
More like shittle.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to make it to this flight. And it was one of those things where you're puckering. I tell you, I could probably walk if I had no legs. My butt cheeks were so moving.
Oh my
I
god!
thought for sure. And, you have leakage. And I'm thinking, I'm sitting in this. There's no way for me to change. So I get another 9-hour flight back to the U.S. in soiled underwear.
Oh my god!
You sharded? Or you,
Yeah, I mean, there's no way. I mean, it was.
It's just leaking.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
itchy.
I mean, and it's just you can't even mop. You would have to take like a normal floor mop to clean up
Sure.
after the explosion. That's all. It was terrible.
All right. Everybody else want a different prologue because we can't beat that.
I love poop stories.
Okay, next off, he's the best. Best. You notice I'm going with best. He's the best marketing man and live video producer the show has ever had, Mr. Jackson Bulger.
Oh,
That's
wow.
that's a compliment.
Thank you. I appreciate
You
that.
should see the shows when I run the cameras are like, why has the camera been on, Paul for the last 90 minutes?
Right.
God,
when
please,
we're
no one
bouncing
needs to
around.
see
Yeah. No, and you do all our social stuff.
Yeah.
Just peeling back the curtain there.
Yeah. Do a few
Jackson,
things.
and you can't use the
No,
bicycle.
that's lame.
The training.
That's lame. It's been told everywhere now at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Across the land,
Yeah.
east
Yeah.
of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
I get strangers coming up to me. You made him put his underwear in his pocket.
Exactly. That's what I
What's
mean.
wrong with you?
Everybody knows that I've pooped in Sears, and I love a good docuseries.
No,
We
that's
all know
right.
that.
Have that on your tombstone.
Yeah, exactly.
Here lies.
Yeah. So I work at a school, and every Friday we get what's called at our school and every other type of similar school in the area, what's called hot lunch, right? So a local restaurant will come and deliver that lunch for the day, and every student and teacher, if you sign up for it, will get said lunch. One day, we got Senior Froggies. And for those of you that don't know what Senior Froggies is, it is essentially like
Upscale Taco Bell?
I would say a low scale Taco Bell, honestly. Yeah, I would
local.
say I would. That's awesome.
And by the way, Senior Froggies.
Yeah,
It's like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. We do taco time now. Thank
Oh,
God.
Taco Time's way better.
Way better.
Yeah.
But we had Senior Froggies one day, and back at that year, we would do lunch, recess, and then we would go inside, and all the kids would have a rest or a nap. And so I have a specific room where I take a certain amount of kids, and like they all nap, and I'm in there just like making sure nothing happens. And I'd had the Senior Froggies for the day. We went out for recess. Everything was fine. And I was in there, and I was like getting the sweats. I was like, oh my
the shit
God.
sweats.
Froggy sweats.
Yeah.
Froggy
Oh
sweats.
my God. And I,
David's been so quiet.
yeah.
I'm just super eager to see where this is going.
Okay.
And I was texting my wife, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm like this is gonna be so bad. And as I thought in my mind, I have created the phrase recently of I had a 2-inch grip on a 5-inch shit. And we have luckily extra staff that are in the hallway for our after school care program. And I'm like, hey, like so and so, you gotta come in here and keep an eye on the kids. I didn't say it that way. I said, hey, can you come here and keep an eye on the kids? I'm gonna run upstairs real quick.
Yeah.
And so I'm sprinting to the staff bathroom, and it's a 1-seater, and I'm like, holy hell! If there's somebody in there, I'm breaking down the door and throwing
Thank
them out
God
the
it's
window.
a
Yeah,
one-seater.
Yeah. Well, it's a room. It's a large room.
Oh.
Yeah, and of just one person toilet though, and I'm in there just
Punishing.
Yeah.
Like a machine gun.
Yeah. And I'm like, look, and I, finished everything, and I'm like, oh my God, there's nothing in here, like for spray.
Oh,
And
I thought you meant in your intestine.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, probably
there's
clear
nothing
that
left.
out.
yeah. And it was a Senior Froggy scented restroom after I went down. And I go down, I sit in that chair in the nap room, and I'm like, I'm pleased with myself.
Yeah.
After what I just did. I was able to figure it out because I'll tell you what, working at a school, it is a miracle you find someone to fill in for you while you do that.
Yeah.
So it was honestly God aligned the stars that day.
Yeah.
I can't poop when somebody else is in the room. I have a really hard time pooping at work. I
Wow.
can't do it at work.
Sometimes you don't have a choice though.
I don't know what I would do. I don't. I seriously don't. If somebody walks in and I'm in the stall, I will clear my throat and pretend I'm peeing or blowing my nose, and then I'll leave.
You've never done that thing where you're just like in an
That's
airport
crazy.
bathroom and like you hear somebody fart, so you try to fart louder, and then they fart, and you've never been in like a fart war?
No, I've
No.
never
Fart fight.
been. I don't have that kind of relationships with humanity. I can't.
Well, you never
no.
see their face. It'd be weird if you knew who they were.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. I know a lot of the people I work with.
Yeah,
I can't do it. I can't poop in
Not
public.
again, Pat.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Clear out. Here comes Pat.
No, a lot of times I can't do it. Oh, say any introductions. He's the best drunk at the end of the bar, Mr. David Waples. You are. You're at the end of the bar. The whole bar turns to you.
To me, yeah, I like the end of the bar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are. You're like
It's a good
you're
spot.
Norm.
Yeah.
Do you know that reference?
Nope.
Shit.
Nope.
Cheers.
You're
Yep.
0
Yep.
for 5 so far.
Oh well,
Yeah.
I can deal with it. People get it. Deserve to get it. No, if I made a Friends reference, you guys would probably get it because you're stealing our shows.
Yeah.
Friends
No.
is 90s.
Your shows?
Man. Yes, Friends
Technically,
is 90s.
it would be my show because I was born then.
But you
When were
weren't
you born,
old
in
enough
the
to watch
60s?
it. It's like saying if
Was that when
MASH
they-
was my show, I wasn't old enough to watch MASH.
Oh, God,
Sure.
I was.
Oh God.
David, what was the time? And I noticed we've got 2 poop stories so far. And I noticed they didn't say they had to be poop stories.
It's
But
true, it's
David- Yeah.
Well, it's really hard because there's just so many to choose from.
Oh, wow.
But I
Mhm.
think the best one was I was on an airplane
Oh.
and particularly gaseous day for whatever reason. Who knows? Maybe it was Tuesday. And I thought I was under the cover of, the fact that you're on an
fans.
airplane.
Yeah.
You get the fans, the good circulation. Also, it's like the herd mentality.
Yeah,
You
you just
can't
blame it
blame
on the
me.
little old lady.
Yeah, it's somebody else, obviously. And I was just unleashing for like an hour probably because my stomach hurt so bad. It was just gas, and I just kept farting and farting and farting. And I was like, oh, well, whatever. And then like after an hour, like 3 rows up, somebody stands up, turns around, and just yells, "Quit fucking farting! It's not funny!" to everybody on the plane. And he looked at me. I don't know.
Right, right.
Yeah. I don't know if I incriminated myself, but I think he looked at a few people, but he looked at me too, and I just was like, oh my God, this is my nightmare. Yeah. 3 rows up too, come on.
Wow.
Think about the people in front and behind.
Yeah.
Or next to me.
They knew it was you because you're the only one that didn't have their
Yeah.
clothes up over their
Yeah.
nose.
And they were all sleeping.
Yeah.
And I put sleeping
Yeah.
in quotations.
Sleeping, yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Next off, he's pretty much just a jerk. Sam Waples. That's why you were like, I'm going to be nice to in the show tonight. I'm like, I wrote he's pretty much just a jerk.
Well,
on
I've
on
tried-
the intro sheet
Yeah.
right there.
Well, that is because I come in thinking I should probably try to be nice to Pat.
Turn a
sometime.
leaf. Yeah.
So that
But
is
you know
fitting.
what? You know what? If you were to suddenly be like completely nice to me through a whole show, I would be convinced I had a terminal disease.
Yeah,
Because
it
it's
wouldn't
like,
be right.
Sam was nice to me. Something's
Yeah,
wrong.
he knows.
it wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
It wouldn't fit the character.
Talk to me about your tummy.
Oh, man. I honestly, there's a lot, but the one that comes to my mind is a poop story for sure. And it's
God, you
just-
guys are all just
Yeah,
asses.
well, if you haven't pooped your pants,
It's
you
all
haven't
just
lived.
Yeah.
But,
I've never pooped my pants.
oh, what?
I've never pooped my pants. I've
Okay,
sharded.
that is pooping your pants. If there's poop in the pants, you pooped your pants.
Yeah.
It's not like
Just less than a teaspoon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
not
poop in the
pooping.
pants.
It came
Yeah,
out.
Poop in
quantity
the
doesn't
pants.
matter.
Yeah.
if
That's-
it touches cotton,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
It's a racing stripe. It's
no,
not a
if there's deuce in the pants, you have shat yourself.
It doesn't have to be a rosebud.
How do I know it just stayed in between my cheeks and just like a
Still.
like a Nutella
if
sandwich?
it leaves the sphincter, you've pooped.
If there's evidence outside of the butt,
Yeah.
If it's itchy, you pooped.
you don't.
If it's itchy.
Yeah.
If it's itchy, okay.
What if
It
you were
wasn't.
in the shower and you had no pants? Did you poop your pants?
If you're pooping in the shower, we got a whole other
It's
conversation
a
to have here,
big
David.
issue.
It's all pipes, man.
been
It
an
all
accident.
leads to
You just pushed into
I
town.
was in an athletic club once, one of those huge showers, and I opened my eyes after the shampoo, and I looked down, and I was standing near the drain, and there was a tiny little turd, and the dude was kicking it into the drain, who had just shat it, and he and I made eye contact. And I was like,
squishing it down the drain.
yes,
Slapping
yeah,
it down.
yeah. And the drain was like less far, like to my beer from me.
Just like an old bar of soap you don't want anymore.
Yeah, and
Get the hell
he
down
looks up at me, and I looked at him, and I was just like, going, no way this
Wow.
is happening right now.
Did you just have to like make an alpha move
I
and
was
poop
like,
too?
I was like your age. I was in the. I was in my 20s, so I didn't know what to do, and he was obviously
Whistle.
about my age.
whistle, just like, attack whistle.
Exactly. Violation. Elon! Sorry, Sam. I took stole your thunder.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, mine would have to be going to school and driving there. Had nachos the night before,
Oh,
been
God.
vegan for a while at that point, and we were like, no, real nachos are way better. So we had real nachos with real dairy, and it was a real nightmare.
Vegan?
Did you buy the nachos from someplace, or did you make them?
Made them.
Okay.
Oh,
It was
okay,
just
that's
literally
better.
the
That's-
dairy,
I was gonna say, there's-
like the influx of dairy from not having dairy that just absolutely destroyed my stomach. And I'm thinking like, all right, I've emptied twice.
Oh,
This has to be a fart.
yeah. Oh,
It is
boy.
not a fart. And I had to drive like 15 minutes holding like one of these positions where you're
Yeah.
like trying to hover over the seat of the car, and you're like, just don't sit in it because it's gonna squish everywhere.
Oh! See, now that's
Don't want
pooping
to
your
squish.
pants.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
pooping
yeah,
your
yeah.
pants.
Oh, it's a broad spectrum, but that is pooping your pants. So is pooping in your cheeks and your pants.
If there's deuce
This
in the
is-
caboose,
Deuce in the caboose.
This is a cycling podcast
know-
for those of you just tuning in.
Yeah.
Hang
for the
on,
first
we'll
time.
get there.
You haven't
yeah,
lived.
we'll get there.
You haven't lived if you haven't gambled on a fart and lost.
Yeah.
You know?
you haven't tasted true American freedom.
Yeah.
American freedom.
Oh,
We're 2 weeks away from an election.
I just pooped.
We're 2 weeks away from an election. I want to know who the shit candidate is.
Yeah.
Who's okay, supports shitting. Well,
Oh, my
we probably
God.
know.
Oh, this is really getting out of hand. This is
It
a great
is.
topic.
We should just, it should
Let's just
be
keep it rolling.
the poop podcast.
The poop podcast, yeah.
Me, I'm the best wannabe yet failing optimist. My name is Pat Bolger, and I talked about the vomiting in grade school, right? I've talked about that on the show. Did I talk about the blood thinners episode last year? I think I've talked about it today.
I've heard it a few times.
You know, we cyclists tend to have issues where we sometimes, the pressure points, things like that. And I'm going to bear all, and I know a student's parents are probably listening to this, and they're probably going to tell their students, and they're going to come up to me and bring this up to me to my face.
I always took you for a guy with hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had just because of the
Yeah, the
stress.
hemorrhoid
Well,
explosion.
you know
Yeah.
what? You know what I think part of it is because I'm so
You're not
terrified
wearing
of
your beads is why.
Yeah, well, no, you're right. It's because I'm terrified to poop in public. So when I poop, I'm pushing it out probably so bad that
Like
I'm causing
rabbit
this
pellets.
problems. Yeah, I'm just like, gotta get it out before somebody comes in. And so,
It's a freaking brick.
oh no! So I strain. I can't sit there and just kind of hang out. Somebody's gonna.
Have
walk
you ever
in.
hung out on a toilet until your legs go numb?
Absolutely at
Okay.
home.
Yeah.
But so I do have I have had a hemorrhoidal issue. I can't believe I'm saying this on a global podcast.
Hey, it's okay.
It's okay. Nobody's listening.
It's a safe place.
And add into that hemorrhoids can have bleeding issues. And when I was on blood thinners,
it was like a red Sharpie
Yeah.
that just never ended.
never stopped. And I'm not talking Sharpie. I'm talking the Sharpie broke. Like I went back up to my office and sat down and I'm doing shit and I'm like, oh God, this feels kind of weird. Oh yeah. I walked backwards for the rest of the day. I had to walk back.
Did you have to
I had
like
clean?
put like like toilet paper up there?
Well,
to,
the
like,
damage was done by that point in time, so I had to
Yeah.
actually go and kind of.
do you not carry like extra clothes with you at school? That
Why?
seems like
Who
something
the-
you should do.
Who the
No,
hell
that's for
carries
the kids.
extra clothes?
I don't
That's for the
know. It
kids.
just seems like like coffee could spill on your pants. Like
No.
like accidents could happen.
No.
Yeah.
You can poop your pants.
We aren't the
Still
accident
could.
doers mostly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. This is it's once in a lifetime deal, Doc. I swear to God.
That's
never gonna happen again.
unfortunate.
I feel bad
you.
for anybody else. I feel
I feel bad for you
for that one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Bad day to wear white pants.
Yeah.
And it was after Labor Day.
Oh.
no,
Yeah,
no,
that's terrible.
it was. I kept the secret until now. So
That's
Hey, Mr. Bulger, I hear you pooped your pants with blood. But
blood.
blood.
He's having his period.
He's Mr. Pat. I'm gonna stop there. Bikes, cycling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is about
I've,
that.
I've done that.
21 minutes in.
Yeah.
Actually, 20 minutes in. How's everybody's cycling life? No, David said no. Paul. I thought that was my dog upstairs. Paul, that's a great cricket sound. Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah? How many?
Yeah. I wouldn't count the mountain bike ride that I did on Saturday because I'm trying to get this friend into mountain biking, and it was like 3 miles or 4 miles.
Is the friend here with us now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
this
you
friend
want-
in
you
the
wanna
room?
see him?
He's your friend
Yeah.
from Canada.
Yeah.
Is he a 6-foot rabbit named
I have
Harvey?
to make them up, okay, Pat? You know how this relationship goes. You've seen me around people. I drive them all away.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Yeah. And then I started Trainer Road this morning.
You did. That was going
Yeah.
to be one of my questions.
Yep, did it. And I'm real it felt good. You know what I turned on?
What? Oh,
Doggone
no.
Maverick.
You have a problem.
Yeah, I do. It felt so good.
Really?
It felt so good. I'm gonna do it again on the next one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you watch the whole thing?
No. I started from an hour 10 in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He's
So I
got
gotta
this
start.
timed like
Yeah.
Pink Floyd.
God,
you know,
it's the
he
best. Just
syncs
gets you
it up,
going,
and
you know?
his intervals come right when Maverick,
Yeah.
has
Some of the
to
volleyball scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
Well, the volleyball. It's not a volleyball in
So you build a
Maverick.
team.
It's not. I haven't.
No,
seen it.
it's
That's the
beach
original one.
football with two
It's-
footballs.
yeah.
Sweet. 2 of them.
The original one had volleyball.
Ready to one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dogfight football.
Yeah. Dog, there you go.
Sweet.
Yeah, that was almost out of my brain. That's
Jackson, how's your
embarrassing.
cycling life?
Good for what it's been. I've been figuring out a new schedule this year with all of the things I have going on.
Are you running?
A lot of things I have going on. Yesterday I went to the gym and I started with running. Treadmill running is
Dumb.
way better on your legs though. It's
It is.
way better.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and I've really started to notice that my muscles are a lot more used to the thing that the human body was made to do. So that was nice. And then I lifted a little bit yesterday.
Right
so
on.
that was fun. I enjoy the gym and I felt like good afterwards. So that's nice.
There we go.
And then just gonna do my indoor rides when I can and outdoor rides when I can.
So technically, am I the only one who really got a halfway decent outdoor ride in this weekend?
We had one.
Oh, we did have one. Oh, we had a good one.
Yeah, it was a good ride, but that was my only ride.
Yeah.
I got 2.5 hours on the mountain bike on Sunday.
Nice.
We probably did that.
It was beautiful. I mean, the
was
reason why you
amazing.
live in Spokane, Washington, where we are, is October.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely gorgeous, and I stopped like 5 or 6 times to
Where'd you
take
go?
photos. I left from here, and I just went off the bluff, and then I ended up in Highbridge Park, and then I ended up into Riverside, following along the river down there, and then into Riverside and around Riverside and onto the other side of Riverside, up to I came out at Dwight Merkel.
Wow.
No.
It's a good ride.
Yeah.
It's a good ride.
It was a long ride. So pedaling up South Hill, I was kind of shredded. I wanted my wife to meet me for a beer, but she didn't want to.
Oh.
She said, "I've had enough beer," and
Oh.
I went. Wait, this is a clause in our marriage contract that says thou shalt not
Ever have enough beer?
She would go to some of these places if they had wine, but and I got 2 rides in. One of them was indoors, and then I got 2 weight sessions in. So I'm doing that, and then I did one today. And by the way, cycling and squats, the two do not mix well. Like flights of stairs kind of hurt today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this app I'm using everything is a little bit higher weight than I'm used to, but I am working the muscle groups to fatigue. So
Is it weird that I thought of you when I woke up?
Yeah.
better than thinking of me when you're sleeping.
When I was
'Cause I get this a
up,
lot.
it was like 6 a.m. and I'm thinking like, I want to get on the bike.
Yeah.
And then I was
Yeah.
thinking like, Pat's up.
I was up at 5:15.
See?
Had my morning constitution. Look at the phone a little bit.
Wow.
On the bike by 5:30.
God, you're crushing me.
I need to.
I
I
need to
need to
be better.
catch up. I am behind.
No, I don't
Did you have
think
some
so.
espresso beforehand?
No, I don't have coffee till after the workout.
You know what I've
just
really
makes sense.
enjoyed? I'm going to do a sponsor plug. Pre-ride doing the maple syrup. That's like a
Oh.
great, just like take a hit of that. You know, it's kind of it's breakfast anyway, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like enough sugar and energy to, jump on the
I don't
bike.
do
And,
anything.
yeah.
I'm gonna get on the bike tomorrow morning, and it is. I spend probably the first 7 or 8 minutes yawning.
Yeah. But the nice thing is that there's a warm-up period, where
Yeah.
you're like doing 140 watts or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't feel like my legs will turn on until I've had caffeine. Like it just feels like I'm blunted. If I just sit there when I get up early, I don't know how you do that. It just feels like you can't.
really,
Yeah, I don't know. That's just me, but
That's my Kickstarter too.
yeah.
really.
I
You
like
guys,
to just relax and have a cup of coffee.
yeah.
No,
And I just sit there and just.
I won't get up.
Well, what I've been doing is I've been doing the workouts in the morning. As soon as I finish, I go get ready for work. I do all that kind of stuff. I'll make myself a cup here and then kind of drink it while I'm packing my lunch and everything like that, get ready to go. And then when I get to work, I have about 60 to 75 minutes free.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when I make a decent cup of coffee. I sit, I don't do anything. I just kind of veg. I click on, work on the computer a little bit, do some stuff like that. That's my get ready. I don't need it right first thing I get up.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
I'm with you. Like I just want to kind of roll out of bed and go. I'll wake up on the bike.
Yeah.
Start
Yeah,
pedaling.
exactly.
And you'll wake up.
I'm addicted.
Well, I like to proceed.
You are addicted. How many of those pods have you had in the last 2 weeks?
I had 6 today,
Ooh,
Wow.
dear
but
Lord.
I got
Uh-huh.
decaf.
Do we
I finally
need
got
to-
some decaf for the afternoon.
Do we need an intervention?
No, I just had
Or
the
an
the
interference.
50-pack sampler sent to me today of
That's 10 days
these
worth.
are the original Nespresso pods.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't you do the 70 pack?
I just bought 80. Yeah, just refresh.
Yeah.
That'll last you a week.
Yeah, hopefully 2.
Mm-hmm. No.
Well, how many did you have today?
Like 6.
6. So basically, let's round up. That's 10 days.
That was crazy.
Can't be good for you.
I cannot.
Can't be good for you. Doctor, heal thyself. Jesus H. Tap dancing Christ. So Sam and I are riding indoors.
Uh-huh.
Jackson, legitimately, or just kind of,
I mean, yeah.
I mean, like training sessions?
Yeah.
Over an hour?
No, because usually I have 3 hours of shit to read afterwards.
Read it on the bike.
Yeah, that's
I'd never
go well.
worked.
No.
Can you
Yeah.
do any of that? Can you like do anything besides ride a bike when you're riding a bike?
Audiobook. I devour
Yeah.
audiobooks.
Yeah, I guess if it's like a zone 2 kind of a thing, or
Yeah, like a cool casual 300 watts or something.
yeah,
Zone 2.
yeah.
Totally.
Did you guys see the Toddy article?
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Okay, fine.
stupid.
Stupid.
No, I'll or like in the mornings now, I have the news on, like the morning news. I'll watch
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
pay
yeah.
attention to it. But if I had to do an interval, I wouldn't give a shit.
You
about
can, like, read
who's
anything,
voting in
though.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I have to like retain the stuff that I'm reading.
Oh,
You know,
Mhm.
So,
really?
I tried
Yeah.
doing that in college. It didn't work.
Yeah,
Retaining?
Well, look at where I am.
yeah.
Just don't insult yourself. Save that shit for
Oh
me.
yeah, God, misdirected.
He's got to point the gun somewhere.
I know.
So, Paul, are you?
Yeah,
have
I
any-
didn't do anything this weekend. I have continue education in order to keep my license.
Okay.
And also, so that's what I did for
Yeah.
who did it. Even today, I'm just about done. It's 24 hours of classes that I have to do
that.
Wow.
and testing. So
Your rollers are in the other room, by the way.
I know, and I have to have those.
Yeah.
I need to grab those. I keep thinking I'm going to grab them. So maybe tonight. But
There we go.
I did go take a break for my class, I went down to the Cervelo and got it ready for being on the trainer for when that time, or rollers, whenever that time comes.
So you open the door room to the Cervelo, and it looks back at you like a prisoner that's been in solitary confinement for months. It's just kind of squinting at the bright light. It's like, not the hose again.
Exactly.
Like,
That bike is not good on the road, so
That's
Morning,
great trainer bike,
Cervelo.
though.
I'm gonna work on you. And he's like, no, please, just send me back to jail.
I'll rust out your headset bearings with my sweat.
That's gonna be your indoor bike.
It will be.
Yeah.
And foul weather.
Have you guys thought about getting any of those Wahoo bikes? I had a person contact me about
Zwift.
Yeah,
Zwift bikes.
Zwift as
makes
well.
one.
But yeah,
Use the link at packfiller.com to get yourself a special deal.
Aren't they like
And
$1,200 or
Wahoo,
something like that?
Wahoo.
Yeah.
Wahoo.
Well,
That's what I'm saying though. Is like they're like in the $1,200 range, which
Yeah.
like okay, don't get me wrong, that is an expense for sure. But like if you're an indoor rider and you don't want to do damage to your really nice super bike or whatever,
Yeah.
like, that is a great option, and they're fully customizable.
Let's be 1,000% honest. 1,000% honest. The people with super bikes either own another bike or they treat their super bike like absolute shit.
And buy another
And
one.
they ruin a bike ride with a swim and a run.
God, I hate those people.
I didn't say I hated them.
I do.
I know a lot of them, but you see some of these gorgeous like $10,000 bikes, and they look like they've been just like, I don't want to oil the chain. Well, you don't need to. There's enough grease on it for 30 years.
You see that on your calf?
Yeah,
You could reapply that.
yeah. Okay, so is anybody doing anything intensity wise, or is it all just base?
I sat at 280 watts today, and that felt pretty intense.
For how long?
4 minutes.
Wow.
I've lost it all. I'm a failure.
That was an insult to me because I was like impressed.
Count it, we're up to 2.
No, I'll give you that one. You didn't.
I used
intend-
to breathe
I'm
through
fragile.
my nose at 350.
Except his nose was gone. He looked like Voldemort. Let's check the headlines for tonight with some segments brought to us by our friends by Cycle Systems Academy, your online school for mechanical mastery. From not knowing to what an Allen key is to fully feeling confident on a carbon saw. With a carbon saw. If you were on a carbon saw and you were comfortable, fucked up. Nope, there was one. Cycle Systems can teach you how to go from Joe to pro. So, our first story of the day, and I'm going to use a little quick dialect and insult everybody over the pond. Why does this bike feel all noodly? That was my headline. The popular British continental team Saint Piran has been in some hot water. Paul knows what's going on. Over the last few days, Cycling Weekly apparently broke a news story that they were using unmarked frames with fake UCI approval stickers applied to them. Nice. I've got details. According to the report, the high-profile domestic team run by Richard Pascoe began using frames imported from China during the 2022 season after a fallout with the team's former bike provider, French brand Lapierre. For a time, the team rode on commercially sourced Trek bikes, but given that cost quite a bit, this was likely an unsustainable model. Once the unapproved frames were produced and built up, St. Piran reportedly applied fake UCI stickers to the bike seat tubes and lacquered them over with clear nail polish to give the appearance of their being sanctioned equipment. St. Piran reportedly used the frame called, and I'm quoting the name of the frame, quote, integrated road bike disc frame, end quote.
From eBay.
No, from
China.
From China.
eBay.
Yeah. Or AliExpress, I'm guessing.
Oh, there it is.
Alibaba.
Yeah.
Made by the brand, and this is all one word, Light Carbon. Team riders nicknamed the bike the
LITE.
the Wuhan Weapon.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The headband should be like a mask over the.
Oh god.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Back into the headlines. So I guess I want to ask for reactions to this, but I also want to get, has anybody ever ridden any knockoff equipment like this?
Yes.
Yeah, Sam has?
College.
Yeah. College?
Yeah.
I borrowed some knockoff wheels once, but Otherwise, no. I helped somebody build a knockoff frame, but can't really tell the difference.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Knockoff frame is that scares the snot out of me. But knockout
Wheels.
Thank you.
Frames.
Knockoff wheels.
Frames even. Yeah.
Those are less sketchy to me if you're going to go with a tubular route. If you're at all,
The Monton crew had full on like Canyon,
yeah,
and they sourced them through like the back door of the Canyon factory apparently.
yeah,
Whoa.
But it was a Canyon.
it was a Canyon.
It just said
It
CANYEN.
said 211 on it.
Okay.
The beer.
Oh.
No.
Yeah,
way.
they painted them. Oh, I'll send you guys. We'll post it on the Packfiller.
That's beautiful.
It was a silver pop can with the 211 logo on it. We asked 211 if they could, if they'd let us do that, and they're like, "No, you cannot do that." We're like, "Okay,"
They did it.
and we did it.
Yeah.
What was that head badge? Was it like the poop signal emoji?
No, it was fine liquor.
Yeah.
Fine malt liquor.
Yeah, malt liquor.
I was talking to formerly of the Velocast, John Galloway, once, and he said he purchased some electronic shifting from AliExpress from a complete no-name brand. He says, I'm going on 2 years, and it's been shifting flawlessly.
Wow.
Wait, okay, back up, pause. It's not Shimano or something like that.
No.
It was like some like
Just, yeah, I'd love, I wish I
Probably is
micro
Ali.
shift.
It's probably
Was it
Ali
micro
Express.
shift?
I don't know. It was from AliExpress.
Yeah,
He
it's their
purchased it
stuff.
through them. And you can get a full
I gotta know
electronic
this.
group set for
And they
like
purchased
$600.
Rotor,
Who did?
AliExpress.
No way.
Really?
Shut up. What?
Yep.
They purchased Rotor, like the crank.
Yep.
Those are my
Rotor
Look it up.
cranks.
is owned by no.
AliExpress bought into it. I believe that's the company. It was a
thought
Chinese
Shram
company. It was
bought
Ali.
it. Yeah.
No, nope.
Wow. There
Because
you go,
they have
boys
the
and
group
girls.
already, that Rotor, the hydraulic.
You know what's really disappointing is like the amount of stuff that you can find out there for direct to consumer. Like
Yeah.
it's insane to me. It's one of those things that you hear of these horrible accidents and stuff that happen, and it's like, gosh, that's just you're doing a disservice to people because they don't know. They're like, oh, that looks like cheap electronic shifting. And I'm like, yeah, it's cheap stuff. Don't use it.
Wheel top. I'm on AliExpress. Don't tell anybody I have the app. Wheel top EDS road bike wireless carbon shifters. So you've got the shifters, you've got a front and a rear derailleur, and this is for rim brake. And you've got
It
you
looks
got
like
cables.
Shimano.
It's $501. I can't,
Oh
the
my
ratings
gosh.
not yet fitted to a bike. Oh, that's a good rating. Second rating, I received it in 10 days. In my life, I did not receive anything faster than this. Okay, so they're just talking about how it arrived.
So they're robots.
Yeah. So, I mean, but it'd be really interesting to just buy it and see what happens.
There's a guy, I think the Narrow Show I've talked about before.
Yeah.
He has, it's called a something Velo, Nervello or something like that.
Okay.
Frame, it's Chinese frame. And with AliExpress, they're wireless or they're electrical, and he does a write-up on that. So he's...
Frames would scare me.
Frames would scare the shit.
Forks would scare me. Frames, when they break, you can usually kind of salvage that.
Yeah.
You don't want to cut on
Salvage
front-end
that
stuff.
as in crash and not
Yeah.
die.
Yeah. Well, if your fork goes, you're screwed. You're face planting.
Yeah.
That's not. And same with
Bars.
wheels.
Wheels.
Too. You go descending down a hill and they just collapse. That's not a way to go.
Well, it's funny you should mention that because that's going to bring us to our topic, courtesy of our friends at Competitive Cyclists. I thought that was ironic that we bring Competitive Cyclists. Bikes and riding or racing is a stupid expensive sport. We can all agree, right? From $20 water bottle to the $20,000 rolling work of art that cracks when you lean it against a curb. Sorry, Paul. We all need to find ways to save. So, in a version of yes, no, or hell no, we're going to play what areas of equipment and life are you willing to go cheap? are you willing to cut costs and ride the second level or third level or fifth level or ninth level? Okay. So I have some categories, but if something pops into your head of things that you're like going, I am cool going cheap, just let it chime out. So for example, little things like bar tape. Who's willing to skimp on bar tape? I am riding classic cork bar tape right now. I think it cost me $11 for the roll instead of $50 in a bike shop for like Supercaz or something like that.
I ride Supercaz.
Yeah. But so
I will not.
Who's willing to skimp on some of the little things? Sam's already not.
I would on bar tape. As long as I got good grip, that's fine.
Yeah.
Now, I don't. I like
You
my
have
physique.
the
But if
leather
I had
physique.
to, yeah, I like my physique. But if I had to, if I raced a lot, I would. I mean, if I had to cut corners, that would be one area bar tape.
I wouldn't. It's like one of
like
your
a
5
contact
contact
point.
points. Yeah, it's like one of your 5
Yeah,
points.
I mean, I don't want it to be slippery like cello tape that we had in the rain.
Benotto.
But if I have grip and stuff, I don't care.
I don't either.
So you're not
Yeah.
going to do electrical tape, but you'll one step up, maybe like the
If
grip
you knew what
tape.
cello tape was,
Yeah.
that stuff, it was just like it
Kids
was.
these days, they don't know
Yeah,
what
no.
Benotto is like.
It's just you could see through it. It was
Yeah.
just this shiny wrap that just wrapped around. There's no grip, whatever.
But we wore gloves more
Yeah, I didn't.
back in the day.
Mhm.
We wore
Back in
gloves.
the day.
I mean, you basically you're grabbing a bar. There's no pad. There's no pad whatsoever on cello
sounds like
tape.
cellophane wrap.
It pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What other any little items are you guys willing to skimp on, or is it all just that good or
if
nothing?
a seat is not if it fits, I don't care what it costs. If that's a contact point, if it's a cheap seat
Yeah.
and it works for me, I don't care.
Or like steel rails versus carbon rails on the
Don't
bottom.
I would
Yeah.
I could care
Oh,
less.
yeah.
To save like 20 grams, no way. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna put.
What's the draw or what's the cutoff for you guys for grams? I'm looking at this right now.
I gotta lose 10 pounds.
No,
You
but I
think
know,
I'm
but
worried
I
about
think
the weight
of-
of my
You want me to
wheels.
Think about it. Like
I can
so
calculate those grams.
I can
Yeah.
tell you 100 grams is about a quarter of a pound, right?
Yeah.
So does anybody have a like
Not
what's
to
a
go
grams
back to it, but if
dollar
I take a
ratio?
decent shit, I can ride any equipment in the world I want. Like I could go bare bones bottom, horrible stuff because I just blew 4 pounds.
Yeah.
That's a lot of grams.
That's a lot of
That's
grams.
a lot of grams.
Yeah. All right.
1,200.
Yeah.
That's why I don't eat a big breakfast before rides. I got to keep my weight down.
I would say chains, especially like early season or now late season, like going on the trainer. I'll put on a 105 or a like a mid-level chain, not less than 105, but I'm not trying to buy like a Durace or a red chain. I feel like you're paying way more than just getting the mid-level chain, and I don't know that you get
Yeah.
that much of a benefit.
Mhm.
I ride Ultegra chains.
So do I.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're not bad.
I've
What's
never.
the price difference? between
Yeah, I
the-
ride Ultegra
so
or
much.
I'll do 105 in the winter.
Yeah.
Well, I'm cheap, so I wait and I look for the top of the line chain when it goes on sale,
Sure.
and then I'll buy it, and then I'm getting the better chain for the price that I would pay for normal. But usually, like the one step down, do the 1170 typically, which is like would be the Force,
Yeah, it's Force
Yeah.
1190 is
and
red.
then yeah, the 1190 is the red. But if I can get 1190 for the same price as a 70, then I will.
I don't know. The way I look at it when it comes to chains is it's like, I mean, I rode a Ultegra chain last year and it did me pretty well,
Yeah.
you know? So,
until it didn't.
yeah. Well, that was also 3 years later.
Oh, that's fair.
So, it did me pretty well.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
You got 3
Alright.
years out of a chain.
Got 3 years out of
That's
the chain. And I'm going to get
crazy.
3 years out of this damn chain, too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Until
it
it
doesn't-
snaps.
If
Yeah.
you do like check your stretch on your chain, it doesn't matter. The chain that there's of course there's people that talk about how many watts you lose on a particular chain, but
God, those people
that's
need
just too
hobbies.
much to chase.
It's like Birkenstocks. It's well worked in.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I know how it's going to react.
It's comfy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
How
That's a
about
great analogy.
Yeah.
how about clothing items?
Oh, white bibs.
I will. I can't wear those white bibs again. One of you guys would probably be fine because you won't stretch out the fabric so much that it becomes a window to the world of what religion you are. But
I have a horse's ass.
you do. You probably shouldn't wear them.
Yeah.
What
and
size
his hair
shorts do you
sticks
wear?
out of
Extra
his ass,
large.
too.
Oh, so don't wear these.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't wear these. And the hair pokes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
And then, with my brown hair, you just see that just everywhere.
Little
like
brown curly.
They look so
Yeah.
dirty.
Yeah, why is it dirty?
why is it moving? Well, it's breezy.
I say no skimping on clothing.
No skimping on
especially
Yeah.
in shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. No to shorts. I think it's okay for like jerseys. There's NeoPro. You're gonna find.
Yeah, there are a lot
Fine
of low
jerseys for $30.
price clothing options out there.
Yeah.
that are actually really good.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, and like socks.
Yeah.
Socks aren't really gonna change the
Yeah.
game. Things like that. But shorts, no.
The
You can't do it with
chamois,
shorts.
the chamois in those white bibs was actually pretty good, even though I've only ridden it once.
You haven't worn them on an indoor trainer ride?
No, God,
Yeah.
no.
Just like
I
walk
don't- I
down the
don't
hall
even
in front
know
of
if they
Michelle
ex-
and give her a nod.
And she just goes, why wear it? She's just like, divorce papers. If you wear those again, I'm getting the divorce papers out. Because we have them on file, just in case.
Yeah.
You don't know.
You'd be
On
ready.
file.
Yeah. I would skimp on clothing price wise, except for, of course, a team kit, a race kit. But no, I'm fine with, the gloves. I buy my gloves from AliExpress. They're fine.
Yeah. I don't know. I get excited to like put on like when I have like certain kits that I really enjoy. It makes me want to ride too. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm excited to wear the like cool new kits that I got or whatever. So I don't know.
And
Yeah, but I do love that Packfiller stuff that you got.
what's that?
The stuff that you printed Packfiller
Yeah.
on. That's nice
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
There's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jerseys still
Mhm.
hanging on the wall. Like no, they're
Like
going fast.
now.
They've only been in the background of the show. No, never mind. How about buying a second tier group set versus Dura Ace Red or something like that?
Always.
Because I've been on 600. Ultegra for.
I know that you
Yeah.
stated yourself.
Yeah, I've been on Ultegra for.
Was that even like, was that down tube still?
Is that 6
No.
speed? Is that what?
No.
it
Is that
is?
The-
six
the
speed?
First 8-speed. 8-speed. They had 600 Ultegra.
Now,
and then they
I
dropped to
grew up.
600.
I grew up with a father in the insurance business, so I grew up on Campagnolo Super Record. Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah. But that was down tube shifters and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I grew up on all that stuff. And then when I started having to pay the bills and, things like that.
Then Ultegra came in.
Well, I pieced together a bunch of stuff for a long time. And then I did have a Dura Ace drivetrain when I finally switched to Shimano. And my LaPierre was red.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked that group set. It was kind of noisy, but I liked it. And now this bike I'm on now is Ultegra, and I don't hate Ultegra. I don't know. I would like
Other
to
than the
upgrade.
shifters?
Yeah, the shifters have pissed me off beyond no reason.
That's shit luck because I have same amount of miles, if not more, on my Ultegra stuff, and I haven't had to replace any of it besides chain.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds like an insult. Is that number 2?
No.
I will say though that it's
All I'm
like,
doing,
Bro.
Yeah.
But
bro,
bro.
your boy's just doing it.
I will say though, now that you take away the gear cables and the brake cables, it's like really is it any different now?
Weight?
I'm barely.
There's a lot of videos on weight, and it's pretty minimal.
It's minuscule. The difference between Ultegra and Dura-Ace is so small, and the shifting quality is going to be the same.
Just
Even
take it
one
down.
like they talked about like Ultegra to 105, which then like Ultegra is so close to Dura-Ace, but like the new 105 Di2, the difference is that it doesn't have a button on top of the shifter to be able to shift.
And I don't even use that.
Right. That's
Who
my
would?
thing. Is it's like, so that's their biggest selling point is there's an extra button. So I don't know. It's just wild to me.
If
that-
I was telling anybody to go out and buy a bike for the first time, if they wanted to get serious about it, I would tell them to buy a 105 built bike for sure.
100%. Yeah.
There are subsets below that. There's all the different names,
Tiagra.
Tiagra and-
stuff like that. But a 105's, you're going to have a
Dynamite.
reliable bike.
Red and Durace are very superfluous. It's excessive, and I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not going to have one someday,
Yeah.
but that has always been like, well, yeah, we don't need to drop an extra $1,500 or whatever just to get the red when you could get Stram Force or.
Do you not have a red
Ultegra.
bike right now?
Mm-mm.
Your road bike isn't a red bike?
No, it's Stram
Oh.
Force. Yeah,
I
I mean,
thought it was
I
red.
made that decision.
It's
when I
black,
was,
Jackson. I mean,
Yeah.
use your eyes.
Yeah.
I was picking group sets. It was literally like $1,500 or $2,000 extra, and it's just not worth the little bit of weight that you save.
Yeah.
So those are expensive grams.
Paul, you're on red.
Mm-hmm.
I would love my new bike to have red, but I'm worried about, like you say, when it comes down to it, if the shifting's smooth, if it's brake smooth, and if, let's be honest, we're talking about a small weight change, I would rather take some of that money and put it into a better set of wheels
Yeah,
Mhm.
and not bar tape.
Yeah, I totally agree.
it might be the last thing you should upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in terms of performance, it's probably the
Once you're in that race category of
Yeah.
stuff,
Especially
Plus 105
electronic.
rival and above.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's no
on the
difference.
electronic thing, that's
But there's a
That's even
crash
more so.
factor too in racing that scares the hell out of me. That if I'm upgrading to that high end group set, and some dipshit, does something in a crit in front of me, I'm
instead of a
oh my
$900
God, yeah,
derailleur, you have to pay
yeah,
on a Force or whatever. It's
Yeah.
$600, so it saves you $300 on the rear derailleur.
yeah. I mean, you almost want that
replaceability.
replaceability
Yeah.
when it comes down to it. Even though one makes you feel cooler when you roll up to the start line and nobody gives a flying shit. I noticed I didn't say it. I really want to drop them, but
good job.
so yeah, in the grand scheme of things, are you gonna win that sprint because you paid that extra $600?
No.
Mm-mm.
Probably not.
From experience, no.
Yeah. Tires.
Never cut corners on
Never cut corners on tires.
No.
Paul, you're a loyal tire man.
Yeah.
I know that.
I've been through. I used to buy cheap tires because they were cheap, and that's what I could afford.
Yeah.
But when you're constantly repairing them, or you don't have the grip, or whatever, they start. Even I had a Vittoria when I was descending down, and it wasn't cheap, but it was their CXs,
Yeah.
and I was descending down Mount Spokane. I was hitting those corners, and the tire contact sounded weird. Stopped at Bear Creek Lodge, and I looked, and the rubber was delaminating from the casing, and they weren't that old. And I'm like, never again.
Yeah.
Because well, we know what happens.
Holy
if
shit,
you
Yeah.
do
take
we?
a corner back.
Yep.
Yep.
I'd say the name, but my beer's empty.
Yeah.
Okay. So we don't skimp on tires.
They don't have to be expensive though. There are good tires that are not.
Absolutely.
That's
And when
what
it
I was
comes to I'm honestly I might be pretty bad about this in terms of a race tire versus a tire. I tend to buy just standard Continentals for my clinchers or stuff like that, just because I ride way more than I race.
Yeah.
I mean, my race wheels have gator skin tubulars on it, which are heavy. But I
That's what
don't
I would
really
put
care
on it.
because I'm going to ride those wheels with you guys more than I'm going to race them. And again, I'm not worrying about those grams that are going to get me that are going to make me last one more lap until Phil Miller pulls me off the course.
Man, you're still hurting from that, aren't you?
I'm a little bitter.
Well,
I-
I'll have to say, here's a generation thing. We always had your race wheels never touch a training ride. You had big, bulky MA40 clinchers back when way back. Well, boys.
Yeah.
So,
somewhere in
but
there.
the
I'll find it
clinchers
later.
were heavy. They were crap. They would puncture. They were a pain in the ass. Technology has came a long way where you can train and race on that same tire.
Yeah.
Especially on the clincher level, and even tubulars. But
And we were
I
racing
always
more
had-
back then. We were
Yeah,
racing
we
a lot
were,
more back
but
then.
my
So you
race
could
wheels
justify.
were only for races.
But you
we
could
did.
justify having a race set wheels because you were racing 3-4
I still do
times a
that
month.
though. I do have race wheels that I don't
Really?
train on. Well, I have 5 sets because no one
true.
wants to race
Nobody
on
wants to rim. Yeah.
rim brakes, and they keep getting to just pile it up.
That's why I'm not gonna.
So,
I can't. I'm having such a hard time making.
Yeah, I mean
pulling
it's
the
like
trigger.
free wheels, and all I have to do is buy tires.
You should get some.
Especially tubulars. No one wants tubular.
No.
Yeah. I've got tons of them.
Imagine all the wheels you'll have when he makes the transition.
I know.
There you go.
Just hand it on over.
Yeah. Eyewear. I'm going to start with Jackson. I know he has learned the ways of skimping versus not skimping on eyewear.
Yes, I made the switch this last year to Oakley, and it is a world of difference. Wow, it's like way nicer. I will never do that again.
The rep from Oakley's listening right now.
Well, for God's
Patrick
sake.
at packfiller.com.
Yeah, please. That'd be sweet.
Please.
Yeah.
God, please.
Yeah,
Please.
I love my Oakleys. They are like no slip. The clarity is way better. It's just awesome. Not to say that the brand that we were with earlier was poor quality, but it's just like you can tell the work hours that are required for a 300 pair of sunglasses.
There were some things that my father has always told me never to skimp on, and one of them was footwear, and the other one is eyewear. And I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I will pay more for a good pair of glasses because I got a sweating problem. It runs down me like Niagara effing Falls. I'm gonna say Niagara fucking Falls, and it's running down into my glasses. And I don't know if you guys know, I have some neuroses. I have a couple problems, and one of them is sweat on my glasses.
I'm really, really trying.
Sam's not to make fun of me right now.
Don't be mean.
Do you want a rag to bite down on?
If it's funny, let it rip.
Nope.
But how many do you have left?
I don't know. Probably
Anyway,
burned them all.
sweat runs down into my glasses and it makes me crazy.
Yeah.
And I will be mid-ride, hands off the bars, cleaning my glasses with my jersey because I hate the sweat. And if I have a cheap set of lenses and my glasses get scratched because of my jersey, or
Does that work for you to clean them with your jersey?
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
Really?
Yeah, it's like cleaning plastic with plastic.
Well, it's like this. It's better than this blob of
That's
salty
fair.
powder.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I look like Scarface when after he put his face in the cocaine.
Yeah.
Because there's so much just salt on my face.
See, that's what I've come to love about frameless glasses. Not to get too in the weeds about this, but they don't. The only thing touching my face is the nose piece.
Yeah.
So if sweat goes, it doesn't touch my glasses at all. And that's another thing that I enjoy about an expensive pair of glasses. You're going to get a nose piece that fits like a glove.
I have 100%, and the only thing touching my face is the nose piece.
You got to have
But the problem is
some sort of bridge touching
I've
your
got
head.
these silly Simon water fountains in my helmet pads that are going. They're just sweat is just going all over the place. It looks like a plumbing disaster coming out of my forehead, and it just gets everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm the only one working, apparently.
I have a theory about this because, I have the same issue. Every single ride, I have to clean my glasses afterwards. And I don't touch them during the ride because when you use your jersey, it does scratch them. And the lower quality glasses scratch way easier.
Way too easy. Yeah.
Way too easy. But my theory, just as an aside for you, is that if you wash your pads out more and get the salt out of the pads, you actually start sweating later and produce less sweat. And
Every time I've washed my pads, they've shrunk. And I've just been like, well, new helmet.
You put them in the dryer?
No.
just rinse them in the sink a few times and hang them over.
Dude, put some dishwashing soap.
No,
on
use a
them.
blow dryer.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm doing a
not.
machine cycle,
Yeah.
There is a reason.
Sounds like going through the washing machine.
There's a
just the
reason
whole
I don't
helmet.
wear.
I'm going to mute my mic.
Fuck you guys.
Didn't work.
I
It
was
came
trying
through.
to be. I was trying to be helpful.
I was going to say I don't wear glasses for that exact reason.
That's
Yeah.
all it takes, and I
couldn't do
don't. I don't sweat as much as you do, but all it takes is one drop, and it's like, and it doesn't help to clean with your jerseys. I'm with you guys, because then it's just like somebody putting. It's not just one streak down the middle of it. Now it's like somebody putting the whole hand.
Yeah.
Some more cellophane over your glasses.
I found myself like taking them off. The first hill climb is when all of a sudden, whoosh, that's it, because your head position's up and it's down as opposed to.
I think that my head's just arrow, so it doesn't like go down into my glasses.
I want to
I don't
try a
think
new.
so.
I want to try a new helmet.
But you know
again.
what? On glasses, you know what is still out there?
What?
The Gooder discount.
Is it really?
It is. Kenzie
No
just bought
shit.
2 more pairs.
Our Gooder
of that.
discount is still good?
Gooder discount.
Which one is
still
it?
Good.
Let's
Like
tell the
15
listeners.
or whatever.
Packfiller
PFP?
15.
That's it. Yeah.
After
you
we
go,
spent
everybody.
This entire
Still
last 10
alive.
minutes not recommending lower tier.
They've got
glasses.
a new design out.
Okay,
do.
no,
They
no,
look
no,
pretty
no.
cool.
But yeah, their sport glasses are not my favorite. I'm just gonna go out there and say it.
They're casual
They're a great
glasses.
company. Their casual glasses are fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah.
and very affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what my wife just bought, and she has bought
It's
many.
still
pairs.
good.
Still good.
The discount is that you heard it here first, everybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
Until
Get
they shut
on
it
it.
down. Hurry
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
the Gooders listening to this and like, and closed.
So we've seen bikes in the Pro Peloton, like the Decathlon Van Rysel, which is a $10,000 bike with Dura-Ace. I had looked today. That's retail, $10,000. Now that sounds expensive, and it is. But that bike is a pro-level tested bike versus, you know, obviously a Trek or a high-end, I don't know what BMC's high-end bikes are now, retail.
15.
15, yeah. Would anybody be willing to do that? Why or why not?
$10,000 on a bike?
Yeah.
Never.
Retail.
Never.
Is
No.
it too cheap or too much?
Too much.
Way too much.
Too
Too much
much.
money.
There's 0% chance, even if it was a $15,000
That's a
bike,
discounted
I would
bike.
Never, I would never spend. Even,
That's the problem with the industry.
it's a
right now.
hardcore stop for me at like 5 to 6. I think I couldn't ever reason more than that.
You're never going to get a brand new bike off of a retail floor
That's
for
what
that.
kills me. I know.
Not with anything good on it. Yeah, and it's tough because that's like a new benchmark. I've had to come to terms with 5,000 to 6,000, but you can't get the bike you want for that. When we first started riding, didn't you get your S-Works for like? Wouldn't that have been the retail?
That would have been the top of the line S-Works.
It's
But
crazy
like
how
it is
fast it's-
crazy because like I was just looking at what I paid for the Cervelo, and that was a $3,500 bike with
Yeah.
Ultegra.
Yeah.
You know, like
I spent
I feel
4
like-
for my Giant.
yeah.
I feel like last year 12 grand was like the highest you saw, and now all of a sudden we're seeing 15 grand. Like it's getting insane
Yeah.
how high they get.
What,
I mean,
12
like, truly,
grand's
who can
insane.
afford
10
that?
grand's insane.
Yeah.
8 grand is right. Well, if you want Dura-Ace, it should be 6,000 for, second level for a Force, or that's how.
I even think 4,000 is what that should be. It should be like 2,500.
But the
for
problem is
105.
we've crossed the line where people want what adds cost to everything is integrated cockpit.
Yeah.
Disc brakes adds a lot. There's a lot more manufacturing to that frame in order to be able to support the braking on those
Totally.
angles. And electronic. All that stuff. You can't sell a bike that's mechanical. No one wants to buy it. But
Yeah.
that would lower the price. Everything's mechanical, rim brake. If you went backwards, but no one's going to buy that.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for them to make their profit, you're going to have to pay that money. We've kind of shot ourselves in the foot because we want more and more. My opinion is, yeah, electronic shifts like a dream, but my mechanical is not, that electronic is not going to let me lose a race because I'm a mechanical over electronic. I have to start drawing a line in the sand. And it's like, no.
Every time I
No.
hear.
I'd rather spend more money on wheel sets
Yeah.
than all the other kind of hidden cables,
Yeah.
disc brakes, all that. I'd rather spend more money on wheels.
Every time I hear
Yeah.
Jackson shift his front derailleur, I get a little jealous.
Yeah, and then you hear it go.
Yeah, I might need a little tweak.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
updated yours?
I don't even know how to do that.
Your
Yeah,
firmware?
I know how to do that now.
Well, if you want it, you can take it
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
It needs to be looked at.
It does.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll do that.
But my SRAM
yeah,
red
I would
front
love that.
derailleur shifts better than electronic,
Yeah.
even 105.
Something's wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's something wrong with that 105.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's how it came to me. But
Mm-hmm.
we'll leave that out.
Yeah.
What came to you?
That's how the bike came to me. That's how it's always shifted.
It's always shifted poorly? Your front derailleur?
Oh my goodness.
Isn't this what you said last week? Like we talked about this.
How long
right?
have you had this bike?
4 years. No.
You scratched it about 3
3
years
years.
ago.
No. I
Well,
don't know
if
how
you
long.
remember-
honestly.
Too soon, Paul. Forever too soon.
I only have one F-bomb left, so I can't use it.
But I don't race uphill.
Yeah, just
Nice.
leave it in the big ring and you don't have to worry about it.
That's how I ride, anyways. You know.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Oh my
That's the
God.
point.
That's a very good point.
Okay, let's talk about going cheap outside of your cycling lives. Is there anything you guys are willing to skimp on outside your cycling lives? Travel, food, eating out or eating in, car, clothing, accessories, things like that. Where are you guys willing to cut prices? I will buy store brand products all the time. I will not buy store brand pasta though. I have
Make
to
your
buy specific brands of pasta. I will not buy shit pasta, but I will buy store brand tomatoes, canned tomatoes, all that kind of stuff.
I will skimp on most things besides bike related. Car,
what are you skimping on?
Yeah, my car is a 2000. We have a 2001 and a 2002
Yeah.
Subaru CRV. Both have over 200,000 miles on them. One has
Wow.
like 260,000. Like,
Just to throw a little hitch in your giddy up here.
they're both clapped.
They are both clapped. But if you were to replace a part on it, I'm pretty sure that you would buy OEM parts. Yes, you have old cars. But you would not skimp on maintenance. Like, yeah, you're being reasonable, but I'm just saying, in terms of like when you consume something, you're not gonna skimp. When you are becoming the consumer and buying something, like if you buy a new car, I don't think you're gonna. I think you're probably gonna save up and get a good one. I'm just saying, I know you.
What's he
Because
gonna get? What would he get? What would your brother get if
For a
you
new
if you
car?
got
Did you get
new
a
car?
truck?
Yeah, he would get a Tacoma. He's like, yeah,
Really?
no, trust me, I've heard all about it.
He's got a shit and eating grin on his face.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
He does.
And it's probably going to be a good one because you would just wait. You're reasonable and you'd save and get the good one.
Those
And
are sweet.
I
know,
think
Pretty cool.
My dad says, I'm quoting my dad a lot tonight, and the one thing he said after I bought my Mini, he says, always have a car that when you're walking away from it, you have an overwhelming urge to turn back and look at it.
nice.
Minis are cool. You know what, Pat? I really love just yanking your chain, but I love a Mini.
You don't yank my chain, Sam.
You're right. I'm just a straight up.
You're
dick.
like schoolyard bully.
Yeah. Jesus. That's exactly how a schoolyard bully
What's up,
laughs.
needle dick?
It's true.
Say it, needle dick. Say it, Uncle. Uncle.
Eat the white dog shit.
I know that reference.
No, good.
Yeah.
Lick it.
Minis are cool. Our uncle had a Mini, and it was really fun to drive in a cool car. I have to grant you that.
I'm not a big car dude. I'm really not. I like a car that's kind of fun
Didn't
to
you have
drive.
a Porsche though?
Did you
did have
just
a
say
Porsche.
what I think you just said?
Did you literally
And if
not
you-
just say Porsche?
If you say Porsche,
You uncultured
are
swine.
Yes.
You know German. If you say Porsche, then you said the proper German.
Yes.
No, it is not that.
Yes,
No,
it
it's
is. I'm
named
sorry.
after a person. It's their last
Yeah.
name, and it is Porsche.
Porsche. Is
I hate
When
that
I
so
was a
much.
kid, my father had. God, my God, I've got daddy issues.
Yeah, what is happening?
Grew up,
today?
my dad always had
gonna
Porsches,
say anything.
and I had a shirt as a kid that said Porsche is a 2-syllable word.
Yeah. We don't say library.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? Like I've always known is that if you if you ask somebody, like what is
It's
this
like if I
car,
called you
hold
Sam
up the
Wape.
badge.
the guy trying to sell it from the company. The American says, "Oh, Adidas is that?" He's thinking if that's the way they're going to do it, we got to sell the shoes. So it's Adidas in America. Everybody else calls it Adidas,
Adidas.
which is the proper
Adidas.
name.
I hate that so much.
I'm sorry. The rest of the world. There's
probably
another part of
says-
the world.
Probably says aluminium too.
Oh yeah. Don't
Oregano
don't even
for
ask
oregano?
my dad.
Yeah. What
How to
else do you
pronounce
skip
that
on?
word.
Anybody? Paul, I know you're a budget traveler. You ride coach,
I do.
obviously, and stuff like
Yep.
that.
Yep. Because getting there, I don't care.
Yeah.
And a hotel room, I don't want it to be the White Tiger
The
anymore.
we all stayed at the White Tiger though, and the White Tiger was not that
Did
bad.
we all?
No.
Did we all?
Oh,
Yeah,
Jackson.
no,
yeah.
One of us
Jackson
was
was
smart. That was an experience.
Jackson
It was a
won't skimp on a
spiritual
hotel.
But-
experience.
But when you're in Europe, I never came across, at least even on my budget places, I've never
Nice.
stayed at a hostel, I have to say, but I've stayed on some cheap places in Europe.
And they've never been as
they're
bad
not
as the White
bad as
Tiger?
White Tiger, no.
Really?
That was
No.
bad.
No,
When I saw
but-
the reviews,
Wow.
But I hear
Where the
in
walls were
France,
bleeding?
In
Yeah.
France, there's plenty of White Tiger stuff.
Are there?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I've stayed in Germany and Belgium, and the one in Belgium was kind of interesting because the bathroom didn't have a door on it, and it was like those Western louvered swinging doors. That was it. And my wife and Dismount Dave and I shared the bathroom.
Oh my!
Yeah. So if you had to
Outstanding.
do a dukage, it was coming through.
We're bringing back the poop theme.
Yeah,
throughout the
well,
entire
I was
show
just trying
tonight.
to.
Yeah.
I mean, showering's one thing because you can't see because of those louvers and everything. But
Yeah.
it was kind of you come across some strange stuff when you're traveling
Yeah.
and staying. But yeah, coach, inexpensive hotel because you're only there for maybe 8 hours in the room. If you're going to Europe, you're not going to be
If you
hanging
get a
out.
good bed, I'm good.
Yeah.
That was like the
Yeah.
the White Lion. We had a good bed. My wife and I had a good bed. It was
Were you
comfortable.
worried about bed bugs though?
I was.
No,
Yeah.
never
I
crossed my mind.
was.
I peeled it
was-
back.
I
I peeled
know.
everything
I
back
was
and
like,
Yeah.
it was once again. That was a great weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the way that all of the
We
trim
were
pieces.
in it together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe it was the way that all the trim pieces in the entire hotel
Didn't match.
Like they
they saw
you
the
could see the
stickers?
sticker under the paint. They just painted right over the stickers for
Yeah.
Yeah, all
like the price
barcode.
tag.
Yeah.
Something about that just didn't ring right.
And some of them had occasional, like obviously
Stains.
scratch marks and
Yeah.
remainders of fingernails in them from where the people were being dragged out of the room, things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
and you
good
open your
time.
windows and there's a random dude standing out there looking
Staring
at
at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many
you.
stains.
I wish I was joking. There was.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many stains in my carpet I didn't want to step on. I felt like I was playing hopscotch going to the shower.
I love that we dragged another local rider into that. Oh, I know. Poor bastard.
Well, don't you think this is a bit of a theme for skimping? You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
You
in
know,
general,
that's a great way to round it out.
consumerism promotes us to buy a bunch of crap, and you should just wait and get the good thing. There's
Yeah.
there's ways to save money and get a good product, but like you don't need to buy a bunch
Well,
of crap.
When it comes to cheap hotels, again, it's just like bikes. The contact point, it's the bed. I have to
Yeah.
make sure, and the shower. But those are the outside of that, I don't care.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll agree.
Contact points.
I forgot to say it. Yeah, eggs. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Skimp on everything but contact point. I was going to say earlier, tires are a contact point.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
You know.
skimp.
Yeah, so don't skimp on that one.
Yeah.
Beer. We don't skimp on beer. We don't
No.
skimp on coffee.
Or
You're
wine.
ridiculous.
Don't skimp on wine.
I skimp on wine.
No, I can't.
I drink box wine.
What's
So shameless.
No. There is good box wine.
There is.
There is good box wine.
I don't buy that
stand
one.
by that.
Don't buy that one though. You don't understand.
Trader Joe's Chardonnay, bitch.
Wow. Wow. You're right. I don't buy it.
Trader Joe's Chardonnay.
Okay.
Two
All right.
bucks.
Well, I threw you a lifeline
With some ice
and-
cubes in there.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Good to
Jesus.
go.
Good to go.
I have not seen you exude this confidence in
Yeah,
quite some
yeah.
time. This is
Yeah.
amazing.
Changed man. Working out in the mornings.
Oh my God. Am I going to be the one that's picked on in this podcast?
Wait, you've been picking on me?
Always. I'm the schoolyard bully.
Work hard.
Bitch.
Hey, needle dick.
Ain't no needle dick.
You know what? I don't. Okay, you guys. Before we get to segments, I do want to mention a couple things. First of all, some thoughts and perhaps raising a glass. Jackson doesn't have anything, but we want to raise our glass to three people here in the cycling world. First off, to the one and only Matt Stevens. He posted recently on his Instagram that he had a crash and he suffered a broken pelvis.
Oh.
And so first we'll do all at once, so we don't have to drink three times, even though we will.
Oh, really?
Heal up, Matt. Second of all, to Marianne Martin, first women's Tour de France winner, sustained multiple injuries on a crash outside of Boulder, Colorado earlier this month. So a big healing wish to her. She has sustained 12 broken ribs, a collarbone break, concussion, and a collapsed lung. And she's currently running a GoFundMe to raise funds to pay for her expenses. So if you go on to GoFundMe and you type in Marianne, M-A-R, I just want to get it right, MARIANNE Martin, and there is a GoFundMe there, and they're getting close to their goal to be able to pay for those funds for her. By the way, my only political statement for the entire show is that we shouldn't live in a country where you got to raise money to stay alive. But
I second that.
also in the big time in the news, 6-time Olympic champion Chris Hoy has announced that he has terminal cancer, and the doctors have given him 2 to 4 years to live. One of Britain's most successful and recognizable Olympians shared his diagnosis with the Sunday Times. He went to the hospital after feeling some pain in his shoulder, and it turns out there was a tumor there, and primary cancer in his prostate, which is spread to the bones. So there we go. So rough news for each of them. Peace for, especially peace for Chris, and a speedy recovery for both Matt and Marianne. So there we go. There's our toast. I don't want to condescend. We're primarily a comedy-based show, but when it happens to people in the community, I want to bring it up. So, gentlemen, shall we switch segments?
Yeah.
Everybody got one?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Do I do the regular bumper? I do the regular bumper, which is brought to us by our friends at Untapped Energy Clean Fuel, thanks to the beauty of pure Vermont maple syrup. Sam,
love it.
try this at 6 o'clock in the morning. The bourbon barrel aged limited edition before it is gone. Try this one out. I'm going to order the shit out of that.
Yeah. Man, I honestly, no better way to get over a hangover than a little bit of the
Bourbon aged maple syrup. Tell me that doesn't sound just numbers.
perfect. I mean, I've had similar things from, other places, and it's always delicious.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, it sounds like a bunch of heartburn during a ride.
No, but you know what? All their stuff is usually so smooth and digestible.
I'd try it, yeah.
Oh, man. The espresso one. Paul, you do the espresso one, and I can't believe that doesn't hit you.
Oh, that's the best
smooth.
one.
Really?
That hits right.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have, what is over there? The raspberry, and what is that flavor?
You had a lime or a citrus one.
Yeah, the
Like
citrus
a
one
salted-
is the yellow one. Salted raspberry, and then the green one
It's
is
salted citrus.
salted citrus.
That is pairs actually reasonably well with alcohol.
Wondering.
Not that I know. That.
How so?
Oh, it's
Think
just,
of that bourbon barrel in a old fashioned as your simple syrup. Holy shit! Holy shit!
You just okay. 100%. We're trying that. That could be brilliant.
What should we do the pasta feed this weekend?
Yeah, this
I'm
weekend.
gonna have to check with
No.
Let's do it.
No,
I can't be there.
What?
Oh.
Okay, next weekend.
Yeah, we could probably do that.
Okay, cool.
that would be really good in an old fashioned. If you're listening to this show and you know how to make a proper old fashioned and you have some of that around, please make it and tell us what it tastes like. Let us jump to. I have fit tips first, so I hope Sam. Maybe it's because you're nice to me. I
still
put you
love
first.
me.
I must fit tips with Mike Fit Sam from Ambassador Cycling. AmbassadorCycling.com. Be sure and check it out because you suck if your bike doesn't fit.
I thought that was coming after me, and then you
Put that on a shirt.
slowly,
Put that on a shirt.
Yeah, that I could use that.
If your bike doesn't
Honestly,
fit, you
yeah.
suck.
Yeah. All of the slogans you've come up with have been great.
You could put on the front of a shirt, your saddle's too low, and then on the back it could say asshole. Your saddle's too high, and on the back, needle dick. Because if your saddle's too high, you probably do have a needle dick. Because you've been cutting off the pressure to that fucker for too long. There's my third S.
Yeah,
Shriveled up, that was worth it.
That was
it
worth
was
it.
worth it.
There we go.
Yeah. So my bike fit thing, I got an email from patient client the other day. When was that? Like Sunday or something? I'm confused on the days. And what they were asking is, I had done a bike fit on them previously. They had a mountain bike. Now they have a hybrid bike, and they're like, I've tried to look this up, but for some reason, like, I hold my bikes up next to each other, and the saddle height of the hybrid bike is, at the lowest dropper height, right, for the mountain bike. Like, What is this? Why is the seat height so far off? Like, well, there's a whole array of reasons as to why that could be. The geometry of the bikes is very different. So, like, the bottom bracket height, dependent upon what wheels you're running from bike to bike is different. So you can't just stack a bike next to the other and say, like try to get the bar height the same and the saddle height the same. It's going to be entirely different because the geometry of the bike is going to be different. When I do fits on people, and a lot of other places do this too, you try to provide them with like, hey, these are your fit numbers, and it is specific to your bike. It sometimes translates over to a close-ish number, but it does not always. And so you can't, just say like, oh, well, I put that over. It's good, right? It's going to be different because it's different geometry depending upon the rake. He was complaining about like, the mountain bike feels more twitchy in comparison to the, commuter bike. And I'm like, well, it's, raked out more. It's meant for going down a hill at speed, right? Mm-hmm. It's not meant for, commuting around the South Hill. So it's one of those things that you really should get each bike fit. It's a good place to start to prevent injury, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're set up correctly.
I don't mean to sound harsh to your industry, but it almost seems like you need like a client package deal, like where you set it up where I have 4 bikes. How am I going to be able to get all 4 bikes dialed in?
Totally.
Because, God, we're talking about money and stuff like that earlier in the show, and that's got to be just a brutal thing to come to the realization that just because I know my saddle height, it ain't going to work on all 4, 5, 6 bikes.
Exactly.
14.
And it's one of those things that, like, I always challenge people that, like, man, we should, like, you can skimp on some things, but, like, when it comes to fit, it is truly, and I'm biased because I'm in the field, but it is truly worth it to get what you have dialed as opposed to buying. I've had people that, like, oh, well, I decided to go with this really nice pair of shoes that were $500 or $450, and I'm going to just ride them. And it's like, hey, you just paid $450 for a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
But they're not set up for you.
The other thing, just to second that, we all were at a couple of the Wednesday Night Worlds this year, and some new guy showed up on like a 2010 Specialized Tarmac. He blew our doors off on the final climb. And we're looking at him like, who is this? Can't wait to drop him. 2 weeks in a row, he blew our doors off.
Yeah.
And it just
rim brakes, baby.
Rim brakes too. Yeah. And all that just to say, like,
they don't slow you down. That's the key.
He didn't have the latest, greatest, but he was fit, and he was probably fit well on his bike. I'm just
dialed down.
Comfort on a bike is way more important than being as light as possible or as aero as possible, because you're not going to train if you're uncomfortable.
And make it enjoyable. Exactly what he said. Just make it fun. Like, if you're not comfortable, you're not going to want to do it.
Can't believe that guy blew our doors off.
Crazy. 2 weeks in a row, set KOMs up this local climb, and I'm like, who's this guy? Yeah.
Meth dealer.
Yeah. Maybe.
Jackson's like, no, I saw him.
I thought Jackson was there for one of them.
No. I never got below second on any of them,
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Classic Jackson.
Fair enough.
That's my boy. Changing times
Word of my loins.
with Paul Main. And we're going to work on the music. But, Paul, what do you got for this week? Because I want to turn this into like a modern techno piece, not just like...
A little dubstep in there?
Yeah.
Wait for the drop.
Sorry. What do they say? Boots and cats? Boots, cats, boots, cats, boots,
Yep.
cats.
That's it. That's all you need to know for dubstep.
Nice.
That's why I'm never a DJ. Like Taylor Finney. What do you got for us, Paul?
Well, it came to mind when I was on the this whole segment here. I was on YouTube, and AI doesn't always fit in everything. When you know AI written stuff, because it has a tendency to say the same words in a different, pronounce it differently, and I'm like, what the heck, So, and I'm thinking, are we getting too automated? Are we relying too much on? This is how my brain started snowballing, and some of it is that a lack of contact with people, like self-checkout, and I know there's some people in this room that do not like going to the grocery store to talk, but some of us do.
He said hi to me.
And do you use the checkout?
I only use self-checkout because I can steal shit.
See? I know.
You think I don't steal shit?
He said
but
hi
you
to
use
me
the self-checkout, so you don't have to
when
talk.
the lines are long.
Yeah. And you don't have to talk to anybody.
No, there are checkers I know, and I like to talk to them.
He said hi to me in the grocery store.
I know.
Maybe
Me too,
this
me
is
too,
a
me
personal problem.
No, if you looked, he probably spotted you first, and he kept trying to dodge you, and you caught up with him, and then he does that surprise, like, oh, I never saw you there. Holy shit, where did you come
wild.
What's your name again?
You know me, needle dick.
Say it.
I'm just getting away from the pineapples because I don't want him to shove one. Never mind.
Everybody, there's Needle Dick by the pineapples. Look at
It's grade school all over again.
him. So anyway, that took me down another lane where I started hearing all these guys that older guys, which are younger guys to me than Pro Peloton, are like, this new crop of kids are coming in. They don't group ride. Everything is done by power output, everything. And I'm thinking that is the thing about pro cycling. We, even road racing, even on the amateur level, we focus so much and not enjoying like our rides and what we're doing right now, that community that cycling brings.
Yeah.
That's why Grand Fondos do well. I think gravel races do well. Mountain bikes do well. You're forced into community. But road racing, unfortunately, we have this, it's all about performance, where it's what you do, you don't tell anybody your secret, you try and find that silver bullet, and it's a drawback to this sport. And I think that we're going to see a couple of the pros kind of burn out because, part of the fun, and Luke Rowe even said that, is just going out for a group ride with your buddies sometime. Mm-hmm. And he goes, the young guys are just like, no, dude, I've got to push these numbers, this number, and it's too structural and stuff. And it's an unfortunate part of this business is when watts and, what roll resistance, and you have all this information trying to, that minimal thing just kind of took the air out of the balloon for road cycling, in my opinion.
And especially for the other 99% of us who all are bike riders, bike racers. I love riding by myself sometimes. This last Sunday, I went for a 2.5-hour ride by myself with my bone cones on, so I can still hear other people. But I know it sounds dirty, but it's not. My headphones on, and I just listened to music the whole time. And I had a great ride, and I was looking at the stuff, and I'd go hard when I wanted to go hard and stuff like that. But I will say that the thing that has kept me going these past 15 years has been the fact that I'm able to ride with you guys, and that social dynamic and social element, and the fact that when I come home and my wife says, "What did you talk about?" and I can truly look her in the eye and say, "I don't really know," because it didn't stop. I mean, it started from coffee and it ended after beer, and even the ride home, pedaling home. And that's such an important part of it. And so, sure, Tade needs to go out and do zone 2 at 350 watts. But the rest of us, dude, what World Cup points are you chasing down?
Exactly. And that my whole point is be realistic about what your goals are. And I know that when all of us chase a dream, at one point to go as far as we can, go ahead. But once you realize you planed out, I think all of us here at this table realize we've got our lives to live.
Yeah.
There's no reason to be that just focused on all this information. It just takes too much fun out of it. You go do a training series in your local race area and just go have fun, and don't take it seriously and get pissed off because somebody tapped you on the hip or that type of thing.
Yeah.
It's just this go out, you realize this is just racing is the pinnacle for me, but I'm not going anywhere. And we have the largest 3-on-3 basketball tournament here in Spokane.
They all think they're 2 free throws away from a pro contract.
I did it for
They
like
are.
10 years,
Yeah.
and it's like, seriously, dude, you didn't even play in high school.
Yeah.
What are you doing? They're just want to fight you, and it's like, this is ridiculous, and we don't need that in cycling anyway. It's just relax.
I got to work on that a little bit. That inner asshole still comes out. In fact, I do owe an apology to Alex from Badlands for the way I acted that night earlier this summer. I was pumped full of adrenaline. I got swept, and I freaked out. I think it was more the adrenaline and then the fear of the moment that happened, and so I will publicly say I owe him an apology. I probably won't do it to his face.
I won't give it to him.
I will, no. But hopefully he's listening to this show, or he's just throwing darts at my face on a wall somewhere.
Training for next year.
Probably. Anyway, no, that's a good one, Paul. Thank you. Oh, Packfiller Dr. Mastered is the name of this one, and I hate that it's called that.
Dr. Mastered?
Yes.
Well,
it's mastered. It's been it's been polished. Ask Dr. David. Bicarb and cycling. What is it, and why is there a spoon in this box of baking soda?
Oh, wow. That was good.
That's what I wanted to title it.
That was good. That was really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this bicarb shit.
I thought about this one again because we'd briefly touched on this before, but then at the UCI this year, UCI Worlds, there were a bunch of rider interviews afterwards I was watching, and I cannot remember if anybody could help me. It doesn't matter either way, but the Canadian rider who performed the best at UCI,
Michael Woods. No.
It's Derek G.
Oh, Derek G.
Is it?
It might have been Derek G. That didn't actually sound like who I'm thinking of. Regardless, they were sitting there talking about somebody was asking them what they were eating. They were eating this like white gelatinous stuff. Like
it is Mike Woods. Yeah, Michael Woods.
Okay. So it was like an hour or two into the race, and they're like, "What were you eating? Why are you eating it?" And his response was just like, "Oh, I was just eating bicarb. It only lasts for 4 to 5 hours, so that's why I ate it like X amount of hours into the race, trying to make it peak." Blah blah blah. And it's like, what is I can't believe people are doing this. The fact that they're like, timing it in their race and yada yada yada.
Now, for the idiots in the room,
Okay.
hi.
Hello.
Bicarbonate, sodium bicarbonate.
Sodium bicarbonate. Yep. The idea behind this is that you consume it in relatively high quantities and your body absorbs it. And sodium bicarb in the blood is a natural buffer that your body uses. You can produce bicarb from other pathways in the body to buffer against acid. So like lactic acid. So the idea is that as you produce lactic acid, if you consume bicarb, you'll have a natural buffer against the pH change, and that will somehow lend itself to a better performance. It's been around for a long time, the idea. Like back in like the 80s and 90s, they were looking at this for like burst efforts, not endurance efforts, but burst efforts. And it looked like it might help. All this to say, Michael Woods made me want to look into this more.
Yeah.
So moving forwards, they've studied extensively in all sorts of sports, lots of studies in rowing, running, and cycling. And I can't really find much to support Michael Wood's decision to like use it in a race. Like I can't really find a reason that it would help you in an endurance situation. So what I have found for anybody who's interested in trying bicarbonate, because it is a relatively safe supplement, if that's something somebody wants to experiment with.
Relatively is an interesting
Well,
word
you might
to
want to
choose
wear
in
a
there.
diaper.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Yeah.
So the issue
it brings us back to I'm going to call this the poop show.
This is that's the thing, is that it can cause a significant amount of GI upset and upset stomach, diarrhea, not whatever you need Pepto for, it can cause.
Doing a Dumoulin.
Doing the do.
Otherwise relatively safe. But the idea is that whatever you consume peaks in the blood at 1 to 3 hours. And when it peaks in the blood, it's supposed to give you an extra buffering capacity against lactic acid, which means it's only going to help you in a situation where you're producing massive amounts of lactic acid. That's a sprint. So it's only going to help you for 4 to 5 minutes.
Wow.
If you want to use it, you would have to perfectly time it somehow 1 to 3 hours before the time in the race in which you wanted to have a 4 to 5 minute effort. This is what I can see from what I've looked into. And even then, it's pretty poor evidence that it's really going to do much for your 4 to 5 minute power. And here's the argument that I couldn't find any evidence on. When you buffer your pH, what you're doing is, if you change the pH of your blood, you're changing your hemoglobins, which is the oxygen carrying molecule in your blood. You're changing its ability to offload oxygen to the muscles. You produce lactic acid intentionally because it's that muscle telling your body, hey, I'm starving, I'm suffocating, give me more oxygen. And that acidic environment in your muscles triggers your blood to release more oxygen. And so I'm not entirely sure that buffering that is what you want. So just taking away lactic acid in one particular moment does not mean that you are going to have a better...
because then your body's not going to send more oxygen.
Right. You're taking away, again, a natural response. And I think it's kind of a larger theme that we try to mess with physiology that we really don't understand.
And I would honestly like placebo effect. Like if you think like Michael Woods is like inhaling this stuff, right? It's like, oh, I'm gonna be ready.
Yeah.
And it's like, then you can probably push your body a little bit further, right? But what are the chances that
then the only thing that's peaking is the poo peeking out of his bottom.
Yeah.
Poopy. It's
the
exactly
2-inch,
right.
like handle that he has on a 5-inch.
Yeah. What is it, Jay?
2-inch grip and a 5-inch shit.
Yeah. That's what
He knows
Michael
all
Woods
about
had
it.
after the
I heard track riders. I've never heard a road rider doing that, but I heard track riders doing sodium
It was studied in track riders for a little bit, and
because they're all about bursting that
burst power, and maybe
Sliding into first and your
Yeah.
pants begin to burst. Diarrhea.
Diarrhea.
maybe in a track situation it would help you recover from your high threshold moments where you produce a bunch of lactate, and it would buffer that and get you back to normal. But again, I think it's a little too complicated for us to really know, and obviously
right now
it hasn't borne out, and obviously Tade wasn't eating it. And he smoked everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Did you guys? What was that? He was asking the cameraman like, "What's the gap?" And then he
That was at Worlds because they don't.
He was in the
have a
Worlds.
radio.
No, he was in his
He's in
Worlds
Piedmont.
kit. I think it
then.
was
Or
Lombardia.
Lombardia.
I think it was Lombardia, and he just was like looking at the cameraman. He's like, "What's the gap?" And then he just puts his head down and keeps driving. He's like 2 minutes ahead. It's like, the fuck are you doing?
Let's get to our last segment of the night, the Cool Down with Jackson Bulger, sponsored by Cool Sweaters.
Jackson Bulger.
Cool Down Sweaters. Cool Sweaters.
Yeah. So I've done this before, but I wanted to play the game of what's your hyperfixation
Oh, shit.
currently, because it changes.
Shit.
Yeah. So, for instance, mine, I mean, yours doesn't even have to be related to bikes whatsoever, because mine's not. Because I'm starting to realize that my time of the show is really just, I get to talk about whatever I want. So,
That's wonderful.
yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah. Absolutely no script. I just kind of
Crush it, though.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that. I lately have really been into like my clothes again, but specifically a specific brand that we were talking about before the show is Carhartt. I've been super into it for absolutely.
You are a Carhartt dude right now.
I really enjoy it. I wear their t-shirts pretty much every single day. I have their what's called their Detroit jacket that everybody pretty much has.
Yeah.
But I just think it's really interesting, and I've been learning about the history of the brand and everything, because it is like a very old brand. It is like the first brand that like battled Levi's. Wow. And then I learned about this jacket that I have, the like 100-year iterations of it, and it's just fine. I find it really interesting.
Carhartt's been around for that long.
I don't know it's been 100 years, but it's been close to it. Yeah, I think it was
I'd buy it.
I think it was 1930s.
Wow.
Yeah, and they have this really cool program too, where if your stuff specific stuff breaks on the garments, you'll send it in, free shipping, and they'll fix it for free.
He told me this. I have a 20-some-year-old jacket that the zipper broke, and it's just been hanging in my closet. And he's like, dude, type this in. And I typed it in, and I hit enter, and it sent me a free ticket to send it to them and get it back. I might never see my jacket again.
I want to know the
You weren't wearing it
follow-up
anyway.
story on
Well, I wore it, but when it gets cold because the zipper's broken,
You just snap.
I don't wear it because like if I'm out doing something like snow blowing or something like that, I don't want to wear it because the Velcro doesn't hold or something like that.
You got
It doesn't
Velcro
say
on
that
that
as Velcro.
See, that's what's so interesting about it. Everybody knows a different version of the Carhartt
Yeah.
jacket, but
Mine was button.
see, yours had Velcro. Mine doesn't have a storm flap on it.
Really?
It's just a raw
Just a
zipper.
zipper.
Yeah. I find that so interesting because everybody has such like a strong affiliation with the brand, but nobody has the same version.
My original one didn't even have a zipper. It was just all actual
Just
buttons, not
big
snaps.
That is a
Yeah.
very
Buttons.
old
Like
version.
like buttons, like
Yeah.
through the tab. Oh,
Yeah, it
wow.
was a big brass button. It says Carhartt on
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
And the thing is, too, there's also another aspect to it. Sorry, I'm really getting into the weeds here.
That's right.
But like stuff like that will sell for like so expensive.
Yeah,
vintage
that's so
stuff
crazy.
will sell really
It
expensive.
had PVC glue all over it and shredded right around.
100%. I guarantee
people.
people would buy that for like $600.
Yeah.
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 Freaking millennials.
Yeah.
But God, I hate us.
You know this.
Okay, I was gonna say, wait, what are you?
But this started out as like a style segment, you know.
Yeah.
So this is like that's my style hyperfixation, and that would be stuff that I would wear, you know, prior to a race.
So do we want to focus on style things we're hyperfixated
Or
on?
what
or
we're
just
this is
hyperfixated
what
on
we're
right now.
hyperfixated on, because I guarantee somebody in here is probably going to say something about their bike, and if they don't, that's also fine.
Oh, I don't want to even. David,
Lululemon.
Yeah, I know.
Lululemon?
David has heard way too much about my bike and hyperfixation right now. Like, I think I talked to Xeroff for how long was our bike ride on Sunday?
3 hours.
Yeah.
An eternity.
So yeah, I have a hyperfixation on my bike right now, and like whether I go SRAM or Shimano, and you know what like rim depth I need and all that. But you know what? Overall, my hyperfixation is how to keep water out of my house. I put up rain gutters. I put in a trench around the outside.
You got a French drain.
Got a French drainer on the outside.
Sump pump.
I've water locked all of the outside walls.
You need a sump.
I think I might go the sump pump
That's
route
what you
now.
have to do.
God, I'm just like I'm
Got a hole in your
hyperfixated
basement.
on it.
Drop
Yeah,
it down.
I
this
find
is home ownership.
I find the hyperfixations though that you love to do it.
Oh,
do you
love.
love-
Oh.
Do you like to keep water out of your house?
Kinda, yeah. 'cause I
See?
really-
See?
yeah,
It's kinda
you're
fun.
you're right.
Yeah,
Wow, never thought of it like that.
something you're obsessed with for a good reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So not just clothing.
It could be whatever the hell you want.
What?
Yeah,
Who's
what are you-
hyperfixated on his siding right now?
And it's just insulation. For years, I've been
Oh
hyper.
God!
Yeah,
I
this
told
one. If my wife's listening, she'll be dying. If my father-in-law's listening, he'll be dying. I have been obsessed with insulation, R values, air tightness, water tightness, all that of the house for way too
What
long.
is
which is why I have literally taken the house down to the studs on both sides of the wall, and currently have no siding as winter approaches.
And are you stressed about that?
Not really, because I'm doing everything right. It's airtight, bro. It's got rock
David,
wool
what's
everywhere.
a
I'm gonna
blower
bro.
door test or whatever that's called?
Well,
bro.
I don't know what my blower door test is yet, but I may do it in the end. But it's about basically like air tightness of your house,
Yeah,
air
exactly.
infiltration.
God,
Where you close the
nerd.
door and your ears pop.
That's
Yeah.
the goal. That's the goal. Yes, I want to heat the house with
here-
2
Hey,
candles.
Doc, do you have
One
four-star
upstairs,
heating?
one downstairs.
So now you created a problem.
How's that?
You're gonna have filthy air because it's just recirculating. What
Yeah.
is it? Do you have a 90% or 80% furnace?
90. No
90.
cold. There's no fresh air intake.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get some fresh air in there.
Guys,
See, that's the
Guys,
problem.
I
the
did
problem
too
with it.
good of a
Guys,
job.
do you
what
know-
happens?
Gentlemen,
you start getting mold.
Gentlemen, cycling podcast.
See what I did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
This is the
really stuck to
problem.
that
Yeah.
that idea through the whole
Well,
show.
no, I just
Oh, he'll be up all night now.
we're over 140 into the show, so you know hyperfixation. We obviously found
Yeah.
David's.
Yeah.
Paul, you got anything you're hyperfixated on?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing. I like clean windows, glasses. I things that they have to look through, like my car.
Do you
Flanders
have any
has
windows in your house?
Yeah, I've got. Well, the best
Two,
thing is the best thing is
asshole.
this big garage door. It's frosted glass, so people can't look at
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
But anything outside, like the car or even my glasses that I wear, I don't like smudges, smears, that type of thing.
I hate it.
And there's a
Now
sense
you know
of
why,
pleasure
yeah.
where it's just perfect. Where you're thinking, on a window or something, or even on your cars, like, where's that?
Yeah.
You just want to hit that that approach.
That's a good one.
Clean.
I gotta
What
go.
you got? Yeah.
The first thing that popped into my head, and mine's gonna be tiny, small, little,
Uh-oh.
shallow-minded.
Oh,
No,
wow.
needle dick.
yeah, needle
That's
dick.
really where I thought that was going.
Oh my God! I fought it. I made it.
You did,
Made
Sam.
it.
You didn't insult me once.
2 times.
No, 2 times.
2 times.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah.
I have started playing my vinyl collection again because I had to buy a new turntable a while ago, and I've been listening to a lot more records. And you guys can make fun of me, but nobody else except Paul and probably Jackson know this. I've refound my love of the band Tears for Fears. I started listening to their catalog again, and I'm just like,
When did they come out?
That's because he wants to rule the world.
The
everybody
50s?
wants to rule the world. 50s?
60s?
That's
That's just
your last
three.
insult.
That's number 3, dickhole.
I almost made it. Almost made it. I was
Dickhole.
trying so hard.
Okay, you gonna wrap up?
That's
no,
it.
okay,
Yeah,
that was
we're all
good.
obsessed with things. So
All right, the final K, gentlemen. First of all, thank you guys for being here. And
Thank
once
you.
again, I love these Tuesdays. I hope you, the listener, enjoy these Tuesdays. Our final K, our final question is, what actor or actress would you choose to play a Tour de France champion if there was ever a movie? You can pick a male or a female. I picked one of each. For example, I said Emily Blunt or Andrew Garfield would be good bike racers
I don't know who
in a
that is.
movie. You don't know who that is?
Garfield, no.
Spider-Man.
second version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be a good one. Yes.
Who's got one? Guy, male or female? Who would be a
male.
Tour de France
Cruise for
champion?
Sam.
He's
Shut
too
up.
short, dude.
Yeah.
He's too short.
No.
Too short.
Adam Driver
That'd be a good
for
one.
a guy.
That'd be a good one.
He's lanky enough. Yeah.
John Krasinski, married to Emily Blunt. He could do anything.
It'd be like a
She
weird.
leans down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to go with Chris Elliott.
These pipes are clean. The only ones who got that joke
Peter
too.
Chris
Sagan.
Elliott's good.
Peter Sagan, could he be one?
No, who would play Peter Scott?
Oh, Chris Hemsworth.
Oh my God, that's gold. That is
He's terrible
good.
bike. He's too big.
No, he could
So-
beat
yeah.
Chris Hoy.
Oh, too soon.
It's actually
No,
good
not
for
even
now.
too soon.
He
I
did
wonder
his
if
life
Chris
story.
would like to have
I think I would be
Hemsworth
honored.
play him on that. Yeah, that'd be good.
It's actually going to say Gal Gadot because I just want to see her in more movies. I love her.
Do you really?
Oh, Gal Gadot. Oh my God, yeah.
Really?
Wonder Woman? Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding?
Who doesn't have a crush on Wonder Woman?
Me?
I don't.
You have something wrong with you.
Yeah,
Me?
No, wait. Did that 4? Was
Yeah.
That's
uh,
4. I win.
Yep. time
Thanks,
to-
everybody.